Welcome to the Left of Str8 Show, your one-stop destination for intriguing conversations with extraordinary individuals who are boldly navigating life outside the conventional norms. Our host, Scott Fullerton, is thrilled to embark on this journey of discovery with all of you. The Left of Str8 Show, we believe that every person's story is unique, and it's our mission to showcase the diversity of human experiences. We bring you the untold stories of fascinating people who identify as LGBT+ and allies, pushing boundaries, breaking stereotypes, and making a positive impact in our communities. On this show, we bring you a diverse lineup of inspiring guests, from activists to artists, and entrepreneurs to entertainers, and everything in between. We dive deep into their personal journeys, discovering the pivotal moment that has shaped their lives and careers. You can expect thought-provoking discussions on a wide range of topics, from LGBTQ rights, social justice to arts, culture, mental health, and more. Our guests are change makers who share their insights, challenges, and triumphs, igniting conversation that promotes empathy, understanding, and love. So whether you're part of the LGBTQ community or an ally looking to expand your knowledge and show your support, the Left of Str8 Show is for you. Together, we can build bridges of understanding and acceptance, celebrating the beauty of what makes us all unique. So sit back, grab a drink, and get ready for the show.
Well, hey, Left of Str8 family. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, as always, Scott Fullerton, and I love bringing you fun and informative interviews with fantastic celebrities and personalities from the worlds of entertainment, foodies, music, books, and advocacy, all for our LGBTQ community and, of course, our wonderful straight allies. Today, we have one of my favorite guests returning, a true musical virtuoso whose talent never ceases to amaze me. Joining me in studio today from the vibrant city of New York, our guest is none other than the incredibly talented composer and songwriter Michael Mott is in the house. This is Michael's fourth time on the show, and he's of course known for his captivating compositions, soul-stirring lyrics, and he does offer a great unique blend of classical influence and contemporary flair. Michael's crafted a musical signature that resonates with audiences worldwide. His music spans across various genres, showcasing his versatility and innovative approach to storytelling, all through music. He's also worked with a virtual who's who of Broadway movers and shakers, and I'm so honored to call him a great podcast and social media friend. So please welcome back to the Left of Str8 Show, the very handsome and talented Mr. Michael Mott. How we doing, Michael?
Oh, that was so nice. It was really nice to hear you say that because I've been questioning all my musical choices lately. So thank you for that.
Oh, please. You are one of my absolute faves. I mean, I'm just mad that I haven't seen any of these in productions in New York yet. So we're going to get there. You brought mob stuff to London, but we haven't got any good New York ones. Correct. I can't get to London. So welcome back to the show. How have you been, my friend?
I'm good. Like I said, been questioning what am I doing with my life as every day with this crazy industry. But I'm honestly in a very good place. I'm good.
There you go. Well, your talent supersedes everything, so you got to keep that. I almost changed categories from you this summer. I mean, I have you as my musical virtuoso. I almost switched you to travel gay. You've been globetrotting all over the place this past summer. How was that?
I know. I was in Italy with my family, with 11 of us, for the very first time ever. We went as a family trip. And it could have very easily been a disaster. There was a 16-month-old baby with us. Oh, and honestly, it couldn't have gone smoother. The kid was so well behaved. The whole trip was really, really fantastic. And I got to do my own thing and just meet up with everyone for dinner at night. So that was really nice and fun. But then I was just also in Spain, France, and Italy for a work gig. And my luggage has been lost for the last month.
I saw that.
Still don't have it.
Nothing's turned up yet?
Nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
That's the worst part of traveling is you never really know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it happens more often than you want to think about. But
I know. But at the end of the day, I mean, I was just telling someone else, it's just stuff. I'm healthy. I'm fine. And it is what it is. It's not great, but what can you do?
There you go. You bring a nice bottle of vino or two home for us to crack it next time I'm in New York City?
I did not bring that with me, but I sure enjoyed it while I was there.
Ah, there you go.
And if I did bring it,
Well,
it'd be lost in my luggage anyway. So
that's true. That's true. Well, we've talked a lot. I talked about in the introduction, your collaboration with all these amazing people from Broadway. I told you off air, but I want to let all the fans know. Jenna Ushkowitz was back on the show a couple weeks ago. She loves working with you. She's done albums with you. I mean, she wanted to say a big hearty hi. How great is she to work with? Isn't she the sweetest?
she is the best. So she was a singer, a guest vocalist on my second studio album, Abandoned Heart. And at the time, she was one of the like three people on that album. There was like maybe 12 or 14 different guest vocalists on that album, and she was one of the three who did all of the promo with me. So we did videos, we did serious radio performances, I raised money for that album through the fan base through a company that doesn't exist anymore, but it was pretty much like an Indiegogo called Pledge Music. And we did an in-studio Pledge Music, like acoustic version of her song at the studio, which was really great. And then we did concerts in Utah and New York. We like went around the country. Like she's the best, and I
remember
truly
she was supposed to go with Andy to Colorado, right?
Yeah, that was with my show. That was in Utah, in Park City.
Oh, okay.
We did that show. Yeah, that was a wild concert. It was like 900 seats, and it sold out, and it was crazy. That was one of the best. Of course,
I first got to know you with your first Where the Sky Ends. I mean, it's at 5 million streams right now. Congratulations on that. My favorites: Jeremy Jordan, Zach Levi, Josh Young, Ben Frankhauser. Oh my God, how much exciting is that? 5 million. You got to be way proud of that.
I'm very proud of that because it was my first album and no one knew who I was. And, what was I doing? I was making an album at 26, 27 years old, however old I was. And it's gone on. It's still like 9 years later is doing so well and still relevant. And people talk to me about it. I'm shooting a music video on a new song I wrote. And the director of that music video listened to Where the Sky Ends growing up. He's 21 years old, and he was talking about when he was 12 listening to Where the Sky Ends, and I'm like, what is happening? I'm ancient now.
It's on my shuffle on repeat. I love everyone that's on it. The music is amazing. So I do love it.
That's so nice. Thank you.
And then we talk about these collaborations. I want to play, we have so many great pieces to choose from, but one of them I chose, we have to do Tomorrow Begins Today. I want to let my listeners see that. We haven't been able to do video with you in the past. We have been able to see, and this is kind of a pandemic party style video. They're all doing this from home, right?
Yes. So Tomorrow Begins Today is a quartet number from my original musical In the Light that is inspired by the Faust legend. So In the Light is a huge epic musical that I wrote, and during the pandemic, we made a concept recording, and we recorded it one at a time remotely with a 50-piece orchestra in Vienna, Austria, a 40-person choir, and then all these massive Broadway superstars around the country, one at a time. And then after we recorded the album, we filmed a music video, and we had the 4 stars, Jeremy Jordan, Saleha Pfeiffer, Antonio Cipriano, and Ciara Renee, all record on their iPhones. And we edited it together. And I thought I think the video came out great. The record sounds amazing for one at a time. That's amazing. It sounds like we're all in one big room.
But I love it. And that's what I can't believe that it was done separately. But let's go ahead and let the listeners and viewers in on it. If you're listening on the podcast on iTunes, you can go to my website. You can go to the YouTube channel. We'll have it on there. But this is Tomorrow Begins Today, written, of course, by our fantastic Michael Mott here, featuring Antonio Cipriano, Ciara Renee, Jeremy Jordan, and Saleha Pfeiffer. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to Left of Str8 show right here in the Left of Str8 radio network. Play, play, play.
High above the clouds, we'd watch the sky, seeing daylight fade to dawn. High above the clouds, just he and I, until the pain was gone. He would take my hand to trace the stars as we chased the light away. Though the day was dim, the night was ours. That's when I learned tomorrow begins today.
Every single night I had to learn from the husband by my side. Like the candlelight I long to burn, alone without my guide. Through the eyes of love I saw my light quickly dim and fade away. But here in your eyes the light is strong. Now I can see tomorrow begins today. Oh, there is light in the shadows where we all struggle to see. Go find the light in the darkness. There is who we're meant to be.
High above the clouds, he's watching me, and I know he'll light my way.
But here in your eyes the light is strong. Now I can see tomorrow begins today.
Every single day we chase our past to discover who we are. While our search for love is long and vast, a friend may not be far. If we look beyond the evening glare, past the fear in our own way, there's another who is standing there, ready to show tomorrow begins today.
We watch the sky as we chase the day away. High above the clouds, just you and I. Now I can see, here by your side. Never forget, tomorrow begins today. We watch the sky as we chase the day away. High above the clouds, just you and I.
All right, we are back. That was Tomorrow Begins Today, written today by my fantastic guest, Mr. Michael Mott is back here in studio with me. Michael, the entire In the Light is just an amazing show. I know we've been working hard to get it produced. Talk about it and kind of brag on it a little bit more. I mean, it has some great music.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was honestly, it's been a passion project for a lot of years. I've been working on it for a very long time. We haven't really done anything with it since 2021. There's been a lot of interest and theaters interested in it. We're going through some amicable changes within the creative team with that show. And so the legal process, everything takes a very long time. But in January, we're doing a workshop, a 2-week workshop in New York for that show. So There's interest overseas. A lot of New York producers are very scared of the show because it's so massive and it's so expensive. So I don't know. We'll see. Whatever's meant to happen with that show will happen when the time is right. But I'm very proud that we were able to make this concept recording with some of my favorite singers and this amazing orchestra in Vienna, which is the city of music in Austria. And I just feel so grateful that this show has an audience and has a reach, and people get to hear the music and get to hear some of the best Broadway performers performing it. It's truly amazing.
It's beautiful, and we'll give all your spots where they can listen to it at the end of the podcast here. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've told you off air, everything's on repeat for me. I just love your music. It's just so... It makes you feel, right? You're a feel artist. I think everything comes from your heart, and it kind of transcends everyone else's heart as well. So I love that.
That's so nice. Thank you. Yeah. I know, I write in a lot of different styles. And so I always say, like, if it's a musical, whatever the story is calling for is what the style I will write in is.
Right.
So, and I write a lot of just random pop songs as well. And so that's just, a lot of that stuff is whatever's current and trending and hot. But a lot of my musical theater stuff is more timeless and classic and sweeping and elegant. So it just really depends on the story.
You talk about some of the, you talk about the pop and everything, and we talk about your collaborations. The boy band project, great group of guys. You've been doing a lot of fun. Christmas, Christmas is my favorite holiday. The gays can have their spooky season that we just got done with, but I'm a Christmas gay here. So talk about working with them. How was that? They did a couple projects with you, right?
I've written, so Travis is a friend who I've known for years, and he had asked me to write original material for them. So over the last, 4 or 5 years, I've been writing just like here and there. I would write a song and we'd record it and they shoot a music video. And they are my special guests in my upcoming holiday show on December 2nd in New York, which we're going to talk about, I know, but I just had to plug that in there. They are my special guests along with Antonio Cipriano, who they just saw, and Anne Fraser Thomas from Titanic, and Blaine Krause, who is truly not only the most attractive man that ever existed, but like his voice is silky butter gorgeousness. And the Boy Band Project is just a group that I love writing for. I have a brand new song that I think is the best and strongest one I've done for them that we've been sitting on for like almost 2 years now, because Travis, who is the founding member of the group, he's trying to get sponsorship to film a music video. So once that happens, and there's a lot of leads, but everything just we're in a weird time post-pandemic with art. So things are just taking a long time, and we're sitting on a lot of stuff, hoping for the right partnerships. And I'm feeling very frustrated because I have like 5 or 6 different things I'm sitting on that I'm not putting out yet, because the timing has to be right with what's happening in the world. And you know.
Well, it's happening across the entire entertainment spectrum. I mean, with the writer's strike, that delayed everything for a while, and actor strike is still going on. So on the movie television side, it's been a mess. And like you said, still coming out of pandemic, funding is dried up in a lot of places. They really want to make sure things are going to recoup. And it's been a weird place for everybody.
And it's hard, with like, people expect music and entertainment and movies and film to be free. And if you could see the budgets just for one song, with a live orchestra, we're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. So unless there is a built-in audience and, people are streaming that, it's put on a playlist and it has a huge reach, you might not make that money back. So it's a very scary time for people to invest. So I'm constantly always trying to figure out, well, how do I get the funding to pay for the next project? I have spreadsheet upon spreadsheet upon spreadsheet for all the projects I'm trying to make, and they just have to be funded to make them. So I get it. It's just a tough time for everyone.
Right. And like you say, I don't think people understand the backside of it all. It's like you've created a couple of songs, and people just think that choirs and everything just pick a song and randomly learn it, but they have to get rights to it and things like that. And so you've been very generous about putting your things up for rent or for sale or to use in different places. But that's a whole different behind the scenes thing that people don't even notice, right?
Yeah, that I think what you're referring to is I have a relationship with a show choir company, as well as pops orchestras and symphonic band symphonic pops orchestras and concert bands that are renting some of the songs I've written and performing them in their concerts. And that came out of, honestly, I don't want to say out of the blue, but it was a complete and utter shock and surprise to me that like my songs can have a completely different reach than I ever intended them to. I wrote Laura Osnes, a huge Christmas song that we've done over the years that has every year it has like a true snowball effect that every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this year we have 6 rentals now of all these pops orchestras and concert bands performing, like 100-piece orchestras performing the song with their groups. And it's just something I had never ever intended or even knew was a possibility. And then suddenly the music is introducing me to new people and taking on a whole other life and touching people and reaching people and inspiring people. And then that makes me feel so, I mean, I can't describe it. I feel so moved that something I've written and created is having a life like that and helping other people in their own way. So it's unbelievable to me.
I bet. And I had on your friend or acquaintance, Scott Evan Davis, a couple months ago. Same thing.
Yeah.
His song that he wrote for just a group of autistic kids has blown up around the world now. I mean, you never know when those things are going to just catch on, right? And it's such great seeing those new audiences. I love that.
Yes, absolutely. And you don't know, like, a lot of times I'll write what resonates with me, but then once it's out there, it's not mine anymore. It becomes whatever the listener wants it to be for them. And so there's something so beautiful about creating something and then letting it go when the time is right and allowing the listener to have their own relationship to it.
Now, we're doing a little time jump here. We're recording this at the end of October, and we're going to do this a little more middle of November for the concert that you talked about. We're going to tease about in a little bit. But you worked on a great project with Moongate Productions called Riding Out the Storm. It actually had kind of a little bit of sneak before, but it's doing a big preview or something this upcoming weekend. Are you excited about that? Talk about that project.
Yes. So Riding Out the Storm is a 10-minute musical that I wrote with Christine Toy Johnson back in 2012. So we were part of a writing program, and the BMI Writers Workshop. And at the end of our first year, the project was to write a 10-minute musical. So at the time, Hurricane Sandy had just happened. And when we were coming up with what to write, I'm a romantic, Christine is a romantic, and we had come up with the concept of, what about a story about a woman who has to leave her house because Hurricane Sandy's coming out on Long Island, and she has to go, but it's the house her late husband built, and she doesn't want to abandon the house and all of the things. And so we follow her journey of like, she has 10 minutes to get out of here and before the storm comes, and like she literally has to pack up her life and go, and like what that process is like for her. So we wrote it. The response was fantastic back in 2012. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Michelle Pauk, who's a Broadway actress. She starred in Seussical. She directed it, and we had this wonderful woman who starred in it at the time. She was a famous, forgetting her name. She sadly passed away, but she was forgetting her name. She was the original cast of Sondheim's A Little Night Music, Victoria something, and I feel terrible that I forgot her name. But she was the original.
Diana Huey, Mel.
No. That's the current cast. I'm talking the original that when we wrote it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But long story short, so that happened. We were accepted into the National Asian Artist Project for a festival that Bjork Lee produced. And so that show kind of had its moment back then. And it's been done sitting on a shelf. Fast forward to 2021, Christine and I start talking, and she wants to make a film version of this. So over the last 2 years, we've filmed. It's expanded a little bit. It's about 12 to 14 minutes long now, I think. But we filmed it, and it's premiering on Monday, October 30th here in New York at the Tribeca Screening Room down on the East Village. And so we have a 6 p.m., a 7 p.m., and an 8 p.m. screening. And we're doing a talk back with Christine, myself, and the director, Bruce Johnson. And now the cast is the phenomenal Mimi Bissett, who is just unreal in this film. Diana Huey, Broadway star. And I'm so proud of this, and the soundtrack is now out. People can go stream on all the platforms. It's a short film. It's like 12 minutes long, so you know, it's only 4 tracks, but it's beautiful. And also, we recorded that remotely. That we did all the vocals and the piano here, and then all the instruments, 11 pieces, one at a time, separately. So that's how I've been recording. It's honestly, that's truly the new way, because I save so much money on budget and on the recording studios. And I'm very fortunate. I have the same band that I've been working with for the last 6-7 years. And so they have the ability to record from home. And so they'll send me their part and I'll put it into the track and I'll EQ it and whatever. We'll figure it out. And yeah, maybe that was a little too technical, but that's how the sausage gets made.
No, I like it. Well, let's move into the fairy's tale, because this is like the story behind it is amazing. I listened to some. Oh my God, it just sounds amazing. The sample cast you have right now. Talk about that and brag on this show.
Yeah, so I was going through a breakup in 2017, and I had logged onto Facebook, and it was a time when everyone was sharing this particular video from the Mott Theater. And it was like no joke, like 7 people had shared it on my feed. And I was like, what is this video? So let me click on it. And I had just broken up with this guy, Cameron, like literally like 2 days prior. And I'm watching the video and I'm weeping. And I cannot believe this is this woman's story. Her name is Ariana Rose. She was in her 40s and fell in love with a young 22-year-old French-Italian boy overseas in France. And after this wild 3-year love affair, she recognizes one day that he wants children. And so she decides she has to leave him. And ultimately, I mean, there's a big back and forth with their relationship. So one day she introduces him to the love of his life, who ends up becoming the mother of his children, and she leaves him. And then 5 years, she comes back and she sees him and the woman, and she goes up to their house, and a little 5-year-old runs out, "C'est toi la fée, c'est toi la fée. Are you the fairy?" And so I thought, this is a musical. I'm making it a musical. And so I got into this. This was such a process, but I ended up getting in touch with Ariana after like 5 months. I bought her life rights, so I own her life rights for a number of years. And I've been developing this musical since 2017. And we just presented it in 2023 here to the industry with Eden Espinosa, Antonio Cipriano, who's like the constant in my life right now, and Julia Bain. And it was directed by Peter Flynn. And I'm writing it with a wonderful Latina book writer named Gretchen Suarez Peña. And it's a Latina woman's story. Ariana is a Latina woman and Antonio is an Italian boy. And so I knew it was very important to have a Latina book writer who can understand that culture and the influence of what that means to this woman. And so Gretchen and I have been working on this, and I'm so proud of it. It's a 3-person cast. It's 75 to 80 minutes long. It's a 1 act. We just changed the title, actually. The Fairy's Tale, while it works and makes complete sense with seeing the show, a lot of the producers we're speaking to kept saying, you have to think, if Susie from Wisconsin is standing at TKTS, she's not going to know what the Fairy's Tale is. How do you sell this to them? And it's true. And, and this is why we have producers, right? So I was like, we'll call it C'est toi la fée. They're like, no.
You just have to Fairy's Tale.
Right? Exactly. So I have been coming up, Gretchen and I have come up with 2 completely different titles, and we're seeing which one's better. And, the goal is to hopefully find a producer that meets with a regional theater and do a production out of town. I want to make an album right now. I'm recording right now with Eden and Antonio, making demos. And they sound so good, they could be the album, but then, people have to be paid for that again, a different way. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I'm very proud of it. So thank you for asking about it.
I did not know the story until I watched the video, and I believe on your website. I don't know if you linked it or it's playing on there.
Yes.
Oh my God, she is amazing. That woman is just the heart. She's it was incredible.
That was the thing. Thank you for saying that, because that was the thing that I tried to capture in my score, is that woman's essence and energy. She is such her spirit, her energy, and who she is in the world is so majestic and spiritual, and like I revere her so much, and I tried to capture that. And she lives in the south of France, and our last rehearsal before we invited producers and industry, she watched a Zoom presentation, and I have it filmed. With her permission, she was weeping, and she said, "Yeah, I can never see this again because it's my entire life." And she said, "You all nailed this. You got it to a T. She went down like the whole cast. She's like, this moment, this song, this lyric, like, how do you know this is what happened to me? This is me. This is my life." And so just that alone has been so fulfilling. And I want to share this with an audience and help people who have to learn to let someone go when the time is right, and to find your own self-love and self-worth and leave them with your own power. It's such a selfless choice that she made. And for me, the whole story is about selflessness versus selfishness. And so that's what I've really tried to do throughout the entire piece. And that's been the theme and mantra I've been repeating all the time as we work on.
You are the perfect person to put that together, because through the video, you just see, you can feel everything she says just in her facial expressions and the way she says it, and her breaks when she's speaking. It's like, you're the perfect person for this, because it was an amazing video.
Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. She's an inspiration.
Now, you do all these, between everything else, doing your own projects, you also teach private lessons and things. Do you have anyone on the horizon? I mean, you do great things with Anthony, we talked about, is kind of amusing, does a lot of great things. Anyone that you've been teaching lately, just like, this is the next big thing? Do you usually, can you feel that when you work with people?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes. There's a couple of people. I don't want to play favorites or give everyone's names, but there's a handful of them, and some are actually not even interested in being professional singers. They're doing it for a hobby, and they happen to be phenomenally talented, and I'm like, you could easily be a recording artist if you wanted to. And some people are just like, no, I just do this for me, and I work my corporate job, and I'm here at 7:00, and that's what I want to do. And I'm like, great, okay. So yes, absolutely, yes. And some are trying to. I teach a couple. I mean, I don't even want to I shouldn't even open the store, but I teach a couple like celebrity children, and they're so good, and they're not like resting on their parents' names or their laurels, and they're like hustling, and they're like, this is hard. And I'm like, yeah, welcome. It doesn't matter who you are. The industry is the industry, and like talent is amazing. And if I can help people and give them a platform and raise their voices, it has to be the right project, like, because a lot of people I'm working with are much more like current pop, and the stuff I'm doing is a little bit more sweeping and classical and timeless, and like we don't match that way right now. But when the time is right, for sure, we'll work together, and I'll help promote them.
Nice. And last thing before we'll go into the show on at the Green Room, I want to talk about, because I had it in my notes, you know that I love your buddy, your roommate, Jeremy Jordan. I saw that Gatsby's going on at Paper Mill Playhouse. I was going to ask you if you're planning on going to see it. And then, of course, I'm a social media groupie of yours. You got to see it. Talk about that play.
Yes, he's no longer my roommate. I now live.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, yeah. He's just a kid. I think you'd be a crowd. You would be a bit of a crowd there, Michael.
Yes, I know. Well, just so the listeners aren't like, wait, they live together? What's going on there, Bert and Ernie? No, we lived together in college, and we were roommates in New York for 2 years, and then he met his lovely wife Ashley, and has a life and a house. And yeah, no, Great Gatsby was. Well, here's the thing. Like, I know the entire creative team and like half the cast, so it was amazing to go and support everybody.
Right.
It's epic. It's huge. It's glorious. Jason Howland's score is so beautiful, and I'm so happy for him. He's having a moment right now between his last Paradise Square, and he's now the musical director and arranger for Shucked. So like he deserves this, and I hope that this show transfers and everyone gets to hear how beautiful his work is. Yeah, Jeremy sounds amazing, of course. And Eva Noblezada is just stunning. She's sang for me before. I have a song called Christmas Will You Stay, which she sung. And we did it at 54 Below, and she wrote all the lyrics on her forearm. And I remember like she was at the mic and she was doing this. I was like, what is she doing? I was like, oh, she's writing the lyrics on her arm and reading them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so she's her voice is unbelievable. It's a great show, and it's a super hard adaptation because that book is so dense. There are so many characters, and I think they are on their way to like figuring out the most effective and efficient way to tell that story. And for a first production, they're in the best shape, and I think it's going to do really well. And I think people will love it.
You talk about opulence earlier and everything and the cost of things. The Great Gatsby is just known for all those characters and the opulence involved there. I can just imagine the cost of bringing it, but it's got to be exciting to see the beginning. And Paper Mill started so many great things, so that's got to be awesome.
They have. Yes, I love that. I love that theater, and it's not far from New York. It's like it's like an hour away.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes in. Cool. Who knows? We'll see. This industry is so fickle. So
it's one of my favorite books. I love it. So I wanted to ask how it kind of translated, because like I said, the opulence and the amount of characters would be very interesting to see. So
yes, and the set is unbelievable. Speaking of opulence, wait till you see that set.
Oh, nice.
It'll knock you out your feet. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about a night with Michael Mott and friends. I mean, you've been doing versions of this throughout your career, bringing your good friends together in different places, whether it was kind of outside of New York or in the city. And now we're in the holiday time at the Green Room 42, which is an amazing venue. Talk about this new show.
Yeah, so this is the 4th annual holiday show that I do here in New York. And every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And we've been fortunate just to have a nice following that comes out and sees these shows. And it's sort of turned into like a year in review. You know, we do a ton of original holiday stuff, plus mashups of some of my favorite holiday songs. This year we're doing 5 brand new holiday songs that because here's the thing, like I have a core audience that comes to everything I do, and I never want people to feel like, oh, he's doing that same thing again. He's recycling the same thing again. So I want to keep in some of like the more successful songs that I know play well for a new audience, but then hopefully create new successful things that play well for the returning listeners and audience members. So yeah, this year I have a 9-piece band, which is the largest I've ever had in a show. And I mean, I just can't wait. I'm so excited about them. And my guest artists are Antonio Cipriano. Again, we talked about him. This is the 4th time he's going to have more followers at the end of this show than anyone else. Antonio Cipriano. Right? Yes. Anne Fraser Thomas, who is starring in Titanic right now. She is just one of the most amazing singers I've ever heard. Her range, her voice just goes up and up and up and up and up. And you're like, she certainly can't sing any higher. And then she does. And you're like, what is happening? And the luscious, gorgeous, talented, silky voiced Blaine Krause. So those 3 are my guests. And then the Boy Band Project is actually going to make a special appearance and do a couple of songs with me as well. So that is on December 2nd, which is a Saturday. There are unlimited live stream tickets available for only $19. So anyone can go to michaelmott.net and buy tickets for December 2nd, the live stream tickets. But we're all like, actually already at this point in time, this is October, we're 40% sold in person. So I'm feeling like the show will do very well in person if we're this early that's sold that well. So yeah, I encourage people, if you're here in New York, come for, it's a beautiful holiday celebration. We hope to give you like the warm cuddlies, and to make you laugh, there's a couple funny numbers in there as well. And yeah, I'm very proud of it. I'm very excited.
I have fingers crossed. One thing that's been on my bucket list. I'm only a 6-hour drive away. I've never been to New York City Christmas time. Been in New York City a jillion times. Never spent any Christmas time in New York City after the tree's been lit at Rockefeller and do the. So I really want to try to get to this in person. If not, I'm definitely going to stream it because I just love everything you do. But I think that would be an amazing time to be in New York City.
Please come.
Christmas time. You have such a great show. Anthony, I knew about Anthony's music through you forever ago. I didn't know he was so funny until I saw him in National Treasure. I didn't know he had that sense of humor. He was hilarious.
Yeah. Antonio, yeah.
Antonio, yeah. Sorry.
Yes,
Antonio.
yes. That kid is 23 years old. And I feel like he's like my little brother and I need to protect him at all costs. I adore that kid so much, and he is truly one of the most talented singers I've ever heard. He is so good. He is so good. And he's such a sweet, sweet child. Like truly a sweetheart. He can sing, he can act. He is so compassionate, so empathetic. I subscribe to his fan. I'm going to run his fan club. I love him.
I love hearing that. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like it's going to be an amazing show, December 2nd, correct? For live?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Talk about the Green Room. People aren't familiar with it. What kind of a venue is that?
It's very small. It's a very intimate venue. It's about 165, 170 seats. There's no bad seat. Nice. It's very intimate. It's not Madison Square Garden, even though Billy Joel is my king, and I would love to, play MSG. We're playing the Green Room 42. But we both have an eyepiece band, so.
There you go, exactly. Well, fingers crossed I'm getting up there. I'm really hoping for it.
I would love to see you.
Streaming at the very least, but I am going to definitely try to make it up there because I just think it'd be an amazing show. And it's Christmas in New York. You can't beat that.
Forget me. You got to go.
Now. I got to go see Kelly.
Forget me. You got to go to Rockefeller Center and see the tree. That's the best part.
I got to see the tree. Got to see Kelly at Rockefeller. Got to see Michael at the Green Room. It's going to be exciting stuff. Well, Michael Mott, 4th appearance is a charm. We got to have you back when things start percolating up again because you just have so many irons in the fire at all time. All right, last thing before we get ready to go, Michael, we got to talk about Cara Mia now how do I say it? Inamorata? How do I say that?
Inamorata, yeah.
I mean, I'm used to your all of the music I've heard you sing has been fairly poppy, fairly everything. Yeah. I'm Luciano Pavarotti's in front of me all of a sudden. Talk about bringing this project together, and I love the video for it. I love your singing. Talk about this.
Yeah, I was doing a moment in one of my holiday shows, I think it was, where I wanted to sing. I wanted to tell a little bit about my life and my story and the music I grew up listening to. And there's a song by Jay and the Americans called Cara Mia that is like an up-tempo, like, Cara Mia, why must we say goodbye? And then Dean Martin's Inamorata, which is classic. And I thought, I'm going to do something lush and romantic for my string players. And I had a violin and a cello and an upright bass that was going to be bowed. And I was like, let me try to arrange something and put this together. So I put it together and the audience went crazy for it. So I thought, oh, well, I have something here. So I fleshed it out, did it the second year. Great response. And I was like, maybe I should record this. So I did, and I put it out, and it's my own version of these two classic Italian songs. And I never, ever, ever do covers. I only do my own originals. But yeah, I learned to sing a little bit. I learned to sing classically through college. So that's what my training is in. And this holiday show is that's how I'm singing through all of it. So I'm doing, I sing maybe 3 songs in the holiday show, and it's all so you'll hear that if you come.
I live about an hour away from Steubenville, where Dean Martin grew up. And I drive through all the time. So I'm going to just play it full blast in my car next time I drive through and see who I get.
I would appreciate that so much because I was just in Italy on a boat in the Amalfi Coast. And the guide, I was with my family, and like my aunt had told him like he has this song, and the guy put it on, and he was like, "That's not you." And I was like, "Yeah," and he played it on this boat in the Amalfi Coast, and I put like a little reel on Instagram, and it like blew up. And so that was probably the coolest thing, to hear my own song in Italy on the Amalfi Coast, and the other boats are like, listening to it as well. Like it's just so, it's wild. But yes, we shot a music video for that, and that music video, which I think you're going to play, right? You're going to show it?
Yes, we're going to play it right here at the end.
Yes, this music video was one of the first times ever that I decided, okay, I have so many music videos and they're all like very cheaply produced because we never have a budget for these things. And I was very fortunate in that the director and the videographer and the people that came together were all in this passion project and said, let's like tell a story. And so we storyboarded this, and we have a full 5-minute we made a movie. We truly made a 5-minute movie. And I think it just enhances the song, and it's very unexpected and goes to a different place. And it's very interesting. So thank you for bringing that up, and I'm happy you enjoy it.
Oh, no problem. I absolutely loved it. I love the video. Like I said, it's visually amazing. Your voice just blew me away. I was not expecting it, I have to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and play out with that. Michael, it's been a pleasure having you back on the show. You're one of my favorite guests to have on. Let everyone know where they can find your amazing website and then follow you on social media.
Sure. Yes. You can go my website, where if you need to know anything about me, excluding my shoe size, it's michaelmott.net. But then I'm most active on Instagram, which is Michael_Mott. So either place will give you more than you need to know about me.
Terrific. Well, stay on the line for me, Michael. Guys, if you're going to be in New York City, or you can make it there on December 2nd, join me, hopefully, fingers crossed, for Michael Mott and Friends Christmas show. And if not, get the streaming tickets. You're going to love these performances. We're going to go ahead and play out with Michael's video here, and we'll be back next week with all sorts of new guests here. And next Tuesday, Michael's going to join us for 5 Questions With, so be sure to look out for that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cara mia, why must we say goodbye each time we part? My heart wants to die. Darling, hear my prayer. Cara mia, I'll be your love till the end of time. Cara mia fair, I'll be your love till the end of time.
Thanks for listening to The Left of Str8 Show. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast distributor, and please give us a 5-star rating so more listeners can find us. You can follow us on social media, and be sure to check out our website, www.leftofstraightradio.com, for contests and other news and information. See you next week.